A better route. Chapter 130. The Uzumakis had been one of the most feared clans in the history of the ninja world for several reasons. They were fantastic with fuinjutsu, had chakra reserves big enough compared to an entire army, and had ancient weapons most people wouldn't even dream existed. Yet, possibly the thing people feared the most about them, was their dreaded chakra chains. Anything that could hold back a tailed beast wasn't something to be trifled with after all. Now Naruto was face to face with these incredible weapons, and they were being wielded by his own undead mother. This fight was taking its toll on him, to say the least. He was currently trying to avoid 3 of these chains coming straight at him. He ducked and dodged as they closed in on him. Are those chakra chains the only damn thing you can do? Kushina felt her hands begin to make hand seals and cringed. You're about to find out that's not the case. She put her hand to her mouth and flames began to shoot out, roaring blazed tongue. Naruto went wide-eyed and jumped right out of the way of the powerful fire jutsu. Unfortunately, he jumped right into another bundle of chakra chain, which wrapped around his body and slammed him into the ground. It hurt Kushina immensely to have to do this to her own son. I fought so hard to get strong so that when I had a family again I could protect them, and now that strength is being used to destroy my only son. This just isn't fair. Naruto did another backflip to avoid more chakra chains, made shadow clones to attack his mother as he asked her, "You sounded like you might have a plan earlier. Do you have something that you think might work?" Some of the clones jumped up to attack Kushina from above and others stayed low to attack her from the ground. She created more chances to deal with the clones above her and used her taijutsu, which was stellar, to deal with the ones on the ground. I thought I did for a second, but I don't know enough about this jutsu do anything. If I had something to work with I might be able to counteract it. Problem is I don't have anything to work with. Naruto realized something. He pulled out a scroll he had and tried to open it so that his mother could see it, which wasn't easy considering her attacks. This is a seal designed to seal the reanimated bodies away. Is this the kind of thing you were looking for? When Kushina finally got to see what he was showing her, she got excited. That's exactly what I needed. Alright Naruto, you've got to do exactly what I tell you to if this is going to work. I need you to use the Fly Thunder God to teleport me somewhere close by, but I need that seal partially connected to me first. Naruto looked lost. Wait a minute, but the seal won't work unless I take you down even if it was all the way on. Plus what good would teleporting you do? Kurama understood what she planned to do. Don't question it, kid, just get moving and get this done. Naruto thought this was nuts, but he didn't really have a better idea. He started to make his way to his mother as fast as he could, avoiding all of her chains as best as he could. Luckily, when she dispelled all of his clones her taijutsu, he was able to learn a lot about her style, so that would make getting the seals on her much easier. He slid under her leg when she tried to kick him and turned around as quickly as he could so that he was facing her back. That's when he partially put the anti-reanimation seal on her. Then she spun around and tried to land a hard blow on his Kinsey. It was a good thing he already put the Flying Thunder God formula on her an instant earlier. Naruto teleported both of them to the kunai he'd thrown earlier. In an instant they were both at the kunai and Naruto was preparing to counter any attack his mother might throw at him. However, she didn't attack him. In fact, she ran up and hugged him. Oh, thank God it worked. I was scared I'd have to keep fighting you. Naruto accepted the hug and stepped back to get a look at his mother. The seal he put on her looked similar, but had clearly been altered. This just made Naruto even more confused. Okay, please start explaining or my head's gonna blow up. Kushina giggled. I'll go slow and try and explain. Back when you teleported us, it brought us to a dimensional void for a split second. Naruto already knew that, right? So what does that have to do with anything? Kushina continued to explain. While we're in that dimensional void, I figured whoever was casting the jutsu would have no control over me, and I was right. Naruto was amazed she figured that out. Okay, so why did I need to put the seal on you? Kushina showed him the changes she made to the seal, so that I would change it while I was in the void. The original seal was designed to stop the reanimation. I changed it so that it would simply give me back control. As long as whoever is casting this jutsu is still alive, I'm still here. Naruto's jaw dropped. You altered the seal that fast? Kushina winked at him. I am an Uzumaki after all, sealing is kind of my thing. Naruto thought of something. Does this mean that you can do that to all the reanimated people? Kushina frowned. I wish I could, but the only reason I could do it to myself was because I know my own chakra system well enough. Naruto just couldn't catch a break. Oh well, guess I'll take what I can get. I'd love to stay here and catch up, but we've got a war to go and fight. Feel like helping? Kushina grinned. You couldn't keep me away if you tried. It's not like someone gets to come back from the dead and fight with their son every day. Let's go kick some ass. The last remaining female Jinchuriki was very busy as well, but her with trying to figure out what in the hell all the commotion was about just 100 feet from her. She was in the second division and could see that Temari was busy trying to hit something with some heavy attacks, but she could tell what. It didn't take long for her curiosity to force her to go right by Temari's side. What is everyone attacking so hard over here? Temari was glad to see Fu. She could use all the help she could get right now. You see that big black guy down there? Fu looked down and did see a large man who appeared to be covered in lighting. Okay, who is he and what's so bad about him? Temari watched as he ripped through more of her men. That would be the reanimated third Raikage, the person most people consider to be the most powerful Raikage ever. He's using his most greatest defense, his lighting armor Rials. We haven't been able to find an attack that can do even the slightest amount of damage to it. Fu looked a little surprised, but aren't you like one of the most powerful wind users in Suna right now? Lighting is weak against wind, isn't it? Temari was both filled with a little bit of pride from what Fu said about her skills and irritated she had to explain at a time like this. Yes it is, but this lightning is stronger than anything I've ever seen before. He's just too strong for us to do any real damage. Fu wasn't about to let her friends get hurt by this guy. Let me handle this one Temari, I should be able to take him. Temari didn't like the sound of that at all. Fu, he's beaten tailed beasts before. For all we know he might mop the floor with you. Fu wore a cocky grin. Nah, I've got this old geezer. Be back before you know it. Temari yelled at her as she jumped down. Fu, wait. Oh, I really don't think this is a good idea. That wasn't the only battle starting up at the moment. Itachi and Sasuke had been trying to track down the source of where all the white Zetsu clones were coming from. Since the Sharingan could see chakra in color, it made it easier to track down almost anyone, white Zetsu included. The method they decided to use was to try and find where the highest concentration of Zetsu's clones were coming from and head for that location. However, the Zetsu clones had noticed the two boys were closing in on the real white Zetsu's location and had reported it back to him. Madara had some research done on the two boys beforehand because he thought they might be a threat and found out some interesting things about them. They just kept getting closer, so it looked like it was time to have Black Orochimaru to help them put their plan into action. Step 1 was simple: get their attention. That part had already been put into motion and all they had to do now was wait for them to get to the right location. Once the brothers saw what they had in store for them, the rest would just fall into place. It was Itachi who stopped when he noticed that a large chakra signature was coming up. Hold on Sasuke, there seems to be someone dangerous up ahead, possibly two. You'd better get your Sharingan ready. The two of them activated their Sharingans and finally noticed who was standing 100 feet in front of them. Sasuke didn't know who they were. They look like Uchihas, but I can't tell who they are. Itachi, do you know them? Itachi was barely able to speak. It can't be, Shisui. Sasuke knew that name. Wait, you mean your old best friend? Itachi nodded slowly and started to run towards him. I've got to see this up close. Sasuke started to chase after him. Itachi, wait, it could be a trap. He ran as fast as he could, but something grabbed his ankle. Sasuke looked down to see a Zetsu clone rising from the ground. Hold on now, boy, that's really not the way you want to go. Sasuke kicked him off his leg. Let go of me. I've gotta go help Itachi. Zetsu scoffed. Itachi is gonna be fine, you've got other things to worry about, like something you've always wanted to know. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. What are you talking about? Zetsu chuckled. You've always had this feeling, haven't you? That there was something they just weren't telling you about the Uchiha massacre, and there's parts of the Uchiha history they're leaving out. That caught Sasuke's attention. Why should I believe you? Zetsu shrugged. Don't believe me, but you can believe him for sure, he said, motioning to another man who appeared to be an Uchiha standing on a branch. That is your Hokage's father. If anyone can tell you a little bit about the Uchiha's real past, it's him. Sasuke wanted to follow Itachi, but he'd been wondering what people had been hiding from him for years. He knew Itachi could handle himself, and he just had to know. Maybe Obito's father could finally shed some light on things. See you in the next one.